So yeah, why United States never elected a female president? It's a question that has puzzled all of us and stirred up countless debates.
Woman could not be president of the United States.
You're a nasty person.
To understand this, we'll have to take a trip back in time. The United States declared its independence in 1776, but women didn't gain the right to vote until 1920. For nearly 150 years, half the population was excluded from the electoral process. This set the stage for male dominance in politics. Even after gaining the right to vote, women faced immense societal and institutional barriers. Politics was considered a man's world, and women who aspired to political office were often discouraged or outright barred from participation. Throughout the 20th century, societal expectations continued to limit women's roles. Women were often expected to prioritize family and domestic responsibilities over careers, let alone a career in politics. But things began to change. Women like Shirley Chisholm, the first black woman elected to Congress.
I am not the candidate for Black America, although I'm black and proud. I'm not the candidate for female America, although I'm equally proud of that. I'm a candidate for all Americans.
And Geraldine Ferraro, the first female vice presidential candidate for a major party, started breaking barriers.
I proudly accept your nomination for Vice President of the United States.
Yet, the presidency remained elusive. We all know that how much the United States likes to think of itself as a leading authority on many global issues. In fact, the American president is often referred to as the so-called leader of the free world. Let's examine the history of U.S. presidents. There is one thing common among all 45 individuals who have held the office: they are all men. For Americans, having an all-male lineup of presidents might not seem out of the ordinary. This is because it is what they have always known. However, from a global perspective, this is quite unusual. Many other countries around the world have had women in charge. This makes the U.S. an outlier in terms of gender representation in its highest office. While other countries have embraced female leadership, the United States has yet to elect a woman as president.
I will not be lectured about sexism and misogyny by this man. I will not. And the government will not be lectured about sexism and misogyny by this man.
In fact, there are dozens of nations that have been led by female leaders at some point in their history. Indira Gandhi became the Prime Minister of India in 1966, which was 56 years ago. Golda Meir took on the same role in Israel starting in 1969. A decade later, in 1979, the United Kingdom experienced significant changes under the conservative rule leadership of Margaret Thatcher, known as the Iron Lady. Benazir Bhutto made history in 1988 as the first woman to lead a Muslim-majority country when she was elected Prime Minister of Pakistan.
I would like to thank the House for once again reposing confidence in me.
Mary Robinson became Ireland's first female president in 1990, and Helen Clark was elected as New Zealand's first woman prime minister, serving 3 terms starting in 1999. Moreover, how can we forget the famous Prime Minister of New Zealand, Jacinda Ardern? Women have been leading in many countries around the world for the past 60 years, but this hasn't happened even for once in 248-year history of the United States. Why is that? In the 2020 presidential election, there were a record number of women running for the Democratic nomination. Among them were Senators Elizabeth Warren and Kamala Harris, who were 2 of the 6 women competing to become the next president of the United States. Ultimately, the Democratic Party went for the then 77-year-old man who had already been in the White House as Barack Obama's vice president, Joe Biden.
There was a lineup, and I hadn't inherited what I did, and we just moved things along. Anyway.
So the question is why America hasn't put a woman in the White House yet? Let's see what an average American thinks about that.
Because of sexism.
People were not ready for it.
I think there's just misogyny baked into our culture.
And honestly, I think it's stupid.
Not a woman.
Why?
A man is strongest.
Let's talk about the political landscape. The presidency is undoubtedly one of the most challenging positions to attain, requiring significant financial backing, political experience, and party support. Historically, women have had fewer opportunities to build the necessary networks and resources. While there have been formidable female candidates, like Hillary Clinton, who won the popular vote in 2016, they often face unique challenges. Gender bias, media scrutiny, and double standards play significant roles in their campaigns. Media representation is another crucial factor. Female candidates are often judged more harshly on their appearance, demeanor, and personal lives. These biases can shape public perception and influence voter behavior. Studies have shown that female candidates are often perceived as less capable of handling issues like national security and the economy, despite evidence to the contrary. This perception gap can be a major hurdle. As societal norms continue to evolve and barriers are broken down, the possibility of a female president becomes more tangible. It's not a question of if, but when.
I can tell you how I think it will happen, because it won't happen in the normal course of events. Either the Republican or Democrat political party will nominate a man for president and a woman for vice president. And in that term of office of the president will die, and the woman will become president under the law or Constitution.
So, why has America never had a female president? It's a complex mix of historical, societal, and political factors.